So it's easier to write a post or a chapter in a book about what you're going through or an essay, but I've never actually done a little video. And I'm the last one I did was too long, so I'm gonna cut this version shorter. But basically, I'm doing this because I want people to learn about organ donation, which is something that I didn't know anything about and wouldn't if my husband didn't need, a liver. So, but more than that, his particular disease, which is called PSC, primary sclerosis cholangitis, it's like a drip and a drip. It's very slow progressing, and it doesn't particularly have a high Meld score, which is what you need for a transplant. The higher the Meld, which is from 6 to 40, Meld stands for model end-stage liver disease. And the closer you get to 40, you have 3 months, let's say at 35, till death without a transplant. 40 could be 3 days or even hours. So it gets down to the wire. I have interviewed so many people that were in comas and got transplanted or couldn't move, were dragging. I mean, it was a whole Hail Mary, a miracle that they got it. So I understand that. And the biggest percentage of liver disease is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and alcoholism. But what Rob has, there's nothing he particularly did. It was probably hereditary. Primary sclerosing cholangitis, PSC, the sister being PBC for primary biliary cholangitis. Both of them are bile duct related autoimmune disorders. The bile is all throughout your liver, and half of the Meld score, this is important, has to do with your kidney functions, okay? Your creatinine measures your kidney function, and sodium also. Anyway, and then the other half is liver functions. So a lot of patients, with fatty liver and NASH have kidney issues. Another problem, like with Hep C patients, sometimes they get something called encephalopathy, which also PSC patients can get, where you just go crazy. You don't know where you are. The ammonia's gotten into your brain, and you're just, I've heard stories of people driving, they don't know, they went to the Georgia-Florida line, or come home, their spouse they have no idea who their spouse is. They don't know where they are, what's going on. It's very scary. But with what Rob has, he's now jaundice, muscle mass, wasting, but mostly it's the fatigue that you're fighting. When you're so tired that you can't enjoy life, and that's what happens, you can't see the beauty anymore. You want to, but you're just too tired. And he's only 55 years old, and this has been a slow, ongoing thing since we first got married. And basically, I think that PSC people need additional points added to their Meld score because it doesn't adequately reflect how sick they are. But today, we went to the doctor and tried to plead for him to please submit and ask for more points from UNOS. UNOS controls and regulates the transplant market, basically. It stands for United Network of Organ Sharing. Very important organization, sets policies. They report to the OPTN, which is a government organization, Organ Procurement Transplantation Network. So, boom, somebody dies in North Carolina, and they have an O blood type, liver, if they're too big, the liver won't fit into a small person. So somebody like Rob, who's not that big, he needs somebody with a similar body mass. So first they put the offers out. The organ procurement people go to the hospital. They talk to the families. They make sure the donor's registered. They do incredible amount of testing to make sure that the person is legally and officially brain dead, that there's no chance of being able to breathe on their own. And one by one, the organs are procured, and then they have a limited time to get, into someone else's body. So with livers now, they can do 150 miles, then 250, then 500. So that will help the New York market, and New Jersey, there weren't enough donors and organs. So anyway, as sick as Rob is, he's only at now today 19 Meld score. And just a couple of points, even 22 would bring him up. There's about 12 or 15 people ahead of, in his category. About 12 people ahead of him. So even if there's a guy, let's say an alcoholic, who drank and drank for years, found out he or she had cirrhosis, stopped drinking for 6 months, came into the program, got evaluated, same body mass, same blood type. If Rob's at 19 and he's been suffering for years and years and looks awful, and this other person is 20, the 20 is going to get the liver. Now, I completely believe that alcoholism is a disease and it's not like one liver is better than the other, but I think some things should be taken into consideration, like quality of life. Maybe a couple of points could be reduced for alcoholism, and a couple of points could be added for PSC, just to even it out, Just seems skewed. And I'm not the only one that thinks so. The doctor today agreed. I just have to put together an argument and, I guess, a petition to propose to UNOS, the governing source, and then they put it out for public comment. They vote on it, and they may decide no. There are no exception points for PSC alone. Right now, the only exception points you can get are as if you're hospitalized with cholangitis, a bacteria. That's really the main thing. So, or if you have cancer. Neither one of those things you want to get, but that's what ends up happening if you don't get the transplant. So you're kind of in a catch-22. So here we are. But you know what? We're together right now, and all we can do is focus on the now. If our business was going gangbusters, then, I wouldn't have time to just focus on this. I really believe everything will work itself out with the business, and yes, things are tough, but we've lived through so much in the past with uncertainty and fear. We're kind of used to it. The business toughens you. I want Rob to get better. I just want him to feel normal. That's all I want. And then we'll go from there, I've come this far with him, and, we have to see it through. There are too many people that have told me things change miraculously once you have a new organ inside of you. Not perfectly, no. It's going to be a challenge, but you can change your mind when you're not so distracted, by your body giving out on you. And I think that's what happens when you have a chronic illness. So PSC, that's really important to know about.